A new, deeper India-US defense alliance is taking shape and it's causing nightmares in Islamabad. After the Modi-Trump meeting, the joint Indo-US statement named and shamed Pakistan as the global hub of terror. And this comes as a huge embarrassment to the failed nation on a global stage. While approving the extradition of Tahawur Rana to India, the joint statement added, quote, "The leaders further called on Pakistan to expeditiously bring to justice the perpetrators of 26/11 Mumbai and the Pathankot attacks and ensure that its territory is not used to carry out cross-border terror attacks," unquote. Now, this is nothing short of a diplomatic slap to Islamabad by Modi and Trump. Left humiliated and shamed on the international stage, Pakistan attempted to save face, stating, quote, "We consider the Pakistan-specific reference in the Indo-US joint statement on February 13th as a one-sided, misleading, and contrary to diplomatic norms," unquote. Well, as we are aware, Trump does not care about norms. The joint statement by New Delhi and Washington is a true reflection of how the world today sees Pakistan as the epicenter of global terror. But it's not just that. Pakistan is afraid that India will have decisive military edge for decades with the help of United States of America. Not only have India and US decided to co-develop the Striker and Javelin military systems, but a host of drones, unmanned surveillance systems, as well as undersea vehicles. The cherry on the cake was Donald Trump's offer of the F-35 stealth fighter jets for the Indian Air Force.
We're also paving the way to ultimately provide India with the F-35 stealth fighters.
Now, if Prime Minister Modi does accept this US offer, then Indian Air Force will have total air superiority over Islamabad. Pakistan might as well sell its fighter jets for scrap rather than come up against the Indian Air Force flying the F-35s. Pakistan even admitted that with such tech advancements, the Indian military would be unstoppable. The Pakistan Foreign Office stated, quote, "Pakistan is also deeply concerned over the planned transfer of military technology to India. Such steps accentuate military imbalances in the region and undermine strategic stability," unquote. Yes, military power will be imbalanced, tilting heavily and undoubtedly in India's favor. Pakistan has already lost 3 wars to India in 1965, 1971 and in 1999. One of those led to the breakup of the country. Islamabad is now afraid of losing a 4th war to India at a time when it itself is facing tremendous internal upheavals from Balochistan to the northwestern provinces. Another defeat against Indian military could pose a threat to Pakistan's very existence. Modi and Trump launched Compact, or Catalyzing Opportunities for Military Partnership, Accelerated Commerce and Technology for the 21st Century. The press briefing stated that the initiative will include international traffic in arms regulations in order to streamline defense trade, technology exchange and maintenance, spare supplies, and in-country repair and overhaul of US-provided defense systems, unquote. In short, any future India-US defense deals will have secure supply chains and possible manufacturing in India to avoid delays, as seen in the case of Tejas Mk1A fighter jet engines. The two sides have agreed to co-manufacture Javelin anti-tank guided missiles as well as Striker infantry combat vehicles. Additionally, Indian Navy is looking to procure 6 additional P-8I maritime patrol aircraft. Trump sees India, the world's largest arms importer, as a key US ally, especially against China's expansionist threat in the Indo-Pacific. The US president stated, quote, "Starting this year, we will be increasing military sales to India by many billions of dollars. We are also paving the way to provide F-35 stealth fighters ultimately," unquote. Modi and Trump expressed how India and US have stood firmly together in fight against terror, and both sides agreed that concerted action is necessary to eradicate cross-border terror. They didn't stop there. The joint statement also named Pakistan-based terror groups operating in Kashmir as a threat to humanity. The joint Indo-US effort will target, quote, "groups including Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba to prevent heinous acts like the attack in Mumbai on 26/11 and the Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan on August 26th. 2021, unquote. Pakistan, of course, came out in defense of its policies, which are not fooling anyone anymore. After all, Pakistan military had been allegedly shielding Osama bin Laden. But it seems Islamabad can never abandon its policy of state-sponsored terror. Its statement read, quote, "We urge our international partners to take a holistic and objective view of issues of peace and security in South Asia and refrain from endorsing positions that are one-sided and deviate from ground reality," unquote. Meanwhile, India-US defense relations are reaching unprecedented heights. The latest is a $3 billion deal for 31 armed Predator drones. In fact, India has bought more than $20 billion of US defense products since 2008, which include Apache helicopters, Seahawks, Globemasters, Chinook, Poseidon aircraft, Harpoon anti-ship missiles, torpedoes, and 145,000 Sig Sauer assault rifles, and much, much more. The United States and France today collectively account for 46% of India's arms imports, collectively now more than Russia. Though Moscow still remains India's biggest defense supplier, the United States is now keen to compete with Russia for major Indian defense purchases. Meanwhile, somewhat surprisingly, United States is India's #1 defense export market and is the biggest buyer of Indian-made military tech, as per data released by India's Ministry of Defense in January 2023. New Delhi's defense exports to the US have grown rapidly and today account for nearly 50% of India's total arms exports, exceeding $2.8 billion during the last 5 years. These include bulletproof jackets and helmets, components of firearms, armor shielding equipment, electronics, subsystems, and aero components. Israel, United Kingdom, France, and Germany make up the top 5 countries who import most Indian-made defense equipment behind the USA. Given the Chinese expansionist threat not just to India but the entire Indo-Pacific and Pakistan's role as a global hub of terror, the India-US defense alliance will continue to flourish and Islamabad can do nothing about it. Meanwhile, Pakistan tries to boost its own alliances with the likes of Turkey, which too is struggling with an underperforming economy. The only question now remains, will India continue to have total military superiority over Pakistan with America's help? Rolls-Royce has pledged to reshape India's defense landscape with its proposal to co-develop a cutting-edge fighter jet engine for the AMCA program. Rolls-Royce offers to grant India full ownership of the intellectual property of the co-developed engine. This unique offer puts Rolls-Royce on par with competitors like France's Safran, which has also offered 100% tech transfer but reportedly partial IP rights. During Aero India, Rolls-Royce's Vice President Alex Zeno also underlined doubling the supply chain sourcing from India by 2030. Rolls-Royce additionally proposes setting up plants in India to boost India's indigenous defense manufacturing capabilities. HAL Managing Director DK Sunil has put emphasis on the timely delivery of the new LCA Tejas Mk1A fighter jets in the face of mounting criticism over delays. Despite challenges such as the supply chain problems with GE Aerospace for F404 engines, Sunil states, quote, "Our focus is on delivering the aircraft, not debating criticism." His statements come after Air Chief Marshal AP Singh expressed doubts regarding HAL's capacity to address the Indian Air Force's requirements. Sunil affirms that 3 Mk1A fighter jets are ready with sophisticated systems and they are about to test fire the indigenously developed Astra missile. HAL is aiming to ramp up production to 24 jets a year following commissioning of a new assembly line in Nasik. Eventually, the Indian Air Force intends to induct 180 Tejas Mk1As and about 6 squadrons of the bigger Tejas Mark IIs. Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.